You hear that? It's not a Cheeto, it's crispy quinoa. Cheetos' farm-to-table little cousin. Deep-fried quinoa is addictive. That's what takes all those restaurant salads to a whole new level, the level that you and I can't easily achieve at home, what Alex calls level 99. For years I've compromised. I roasted quinoa in the oven and I toasted it in the skillet. It's pretty good, but it's a bit too hard. It doesn't have that effortless crispness and sometimes it sort of sticks in your teeth. So today we are making the real deal. We are deep frying quinoa, but in a very clever way. We are mini frying it. Just 3 tablespoons of oil and 5 minutes is what's standing between you and quinoa that is level 99. Let me introduce you to mini deep frying. Quinoa is tiny and we don't need much of it. It's a condiment, a topping. A tablespoon of it is enough for 4 servings. This gives us an opportunity that we never have with deep frying. We can get away with very little oil. It will take a few batches, but they cook so quickly that we'll be done in no time, and we won't have to deal with a pot of leftover oil. Put 1 cup of quinoa into a fine mesh sieve, put it into a small pot and cover completely with water. Rinse it a couple of times to remove the saponin. That's the bitter coating that naturally covers the quinoa seeds. Drain the quinoa and return to the pot. Just like for rice, there is no set ratio of quinoa to water. It depends on how many cups of quinoa you're cooking, the diameter of your pot, and the tightness of your lid. For my situation, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of water works well, but your mileage will vary. If you are measuring water with a dry measuring cup, make sure you fill it to the very top. I add 2 teaspoons of Diamond Crystal Kosher salt, but you can adjust that to your taste. Set over high heat and bring to a boil. Cover, lower the heat to low, and cook for 20 minutes without opening the lid. On an electric stove, have another burner ready on low heat since your burner won't drop quickly enough. When the time is up, take the pot off the heat, but don't open it for at least 10 minutes. Open the pot, let the steam dissipate for a few minutes, and then rake the quinoa with a fork to separate all the grains. You can cool the quinoa to room temperature and refrigerate it for up to a week until you are ready to serve. To crisp it up, set your smallest skillet over moderately high heat with about 3 tablespoons of refined oil like sunflower or grapeseed. Wait for it to shimmer, but not smoke. Add about a teaspoon of quinoa and tilt the pan to collect all the oil on one side and make it deeper. This first batch is never quite right, but by the second batch it gets better. Shake the pan gently and move the grains around occasionally. In about a minute, they'll become golden and you can fish them out with a little fine mesh spoon onto a paper towel lined plate. The color you're looking for is golden brown. If you get them out too soon, they'll be sticky. But since they cook so quickly, you can easily experiment. I'll get this first batch out a bit early to show you the difference. Make sure you remove as many grains as you can, but don't go crazy. If a couple are left, that's okay. Now let's do the second batch. With deep frying, the first batch is never quite right. Here we go. In goes the quinoa. Keep it moving and tilt the pan. In about a minute, here is the color I'm looking for. In 5 minutes, I can get about 4 little batches done, which is plenty. Here is my first batch that is a bit too light and not completely crisp. And here are my second and third batches that are just right. When you achieve the right texture, you can break up this quinoa into individual seeds very easily. It cools almost instantly and it's ready to use on your salad or on top of your crudo, or you know what would be totally amazing? On top of your poke bowl. If you need a spectacular salad to put it on, there's one in this video, and if you are ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.